Prepare yourselves for an ice age catastrophe bigger than you thought. There are ripples in Alaskan bogs without fail. But are they formed by a water current? No, that would make too much sense. Instead, these are called Rogan or ribbed moraines. So the idea is that these are a bunch of tiny, close-together terminal moraines that formed from small glaciers that moved forward and receded very consistently. And these glaciers were so small that they didn't disturb the high ground at all, because they only sat in the valley. But what if they didn't disturb the high ground because they were made by rivers that flowed in the low-lying valleys, making these ripples instead of a type of moraine? This fits the data 1,000 times better. You can see the curving path of some of these valleys and how the ripples consistently orientate themselves perpendicular to the channel. This is a met expectation for a water-made ripple. Many glaciers are not going to be able to make tight turns like this. This obvious answer of these being ripples is overlooked because in Lake Rogan, on the Sweden-Norway border, the wavelength is a massive 380 meters. This would indicate a massive flooding event. This is 10 times larger than the average ripples found in the channeled scablands of Washington, for comparison. But unlike the channeled scablands, there is no large upstream basin to hold lots of meltwater. Instead, there is just a mountain range with many ravines cutting through the Scandinavian mountains. Now, back in Alaska, these networks of valleys that flow around the drumlins would have removed sediments and been partially responsible for the shaping of the drumlins. By accepting these as ripples, then you might start to consider that a water current shaped the drumlins as well. And the subglacial flow model is getting a lot of pushback despite it being a great physics-based explanation, because it recognizes that drumlins are a product of fluid motion and not of solid ice, which would just bulldoze the sediment into a moraine. So if you're flying over Alaska, or any place that has Rogan moraines or drumlins, consider fluid motion as the dominant shaping force, perhaps from rapid melting, the Younger Dryas impact hypothesis, or some other catastrophic flooding theory. But remember, if it's supported by physics, then don't be catastrophobic.